familiar with the game, boys, Guild Wars 2 is balanced differently between the game modes. PvP, separate from PvE, and then we also have World vs. World. So you have 3 game modes, all balanced differently. The main differences in balance is depending on the goals of the game mode. Just think about the reasons why skills may be nerfed in PvP, but not in World vs. World. Because we've had that recently, right? Initially, you would think, well, that doesn't make any sense, right? Because in World vs. World, you have the ability to run more stats. You can have more power, you can have more ferocity, you can crit cap. You know, you can use a mixture of gear. You're not like confined to an amulet, right, of stats. Also, there's things like auras. You know, you could be around an objective and you get bigger stats due to those. And also you can get buffed by your allies more. And you have food as well. So if a skill is like OP in PvP and it's nerfed, why isn't it nerfed in World vs. World, guys? What's the reason? There's got to be reasons, right? You guys think of any reasons why they would do that? What's the focus of the game modes? Like PvP, the focus is balance between players, right? And I guess the goal is skill and strategy determines the outcome of matches. They don't want you to be able to just cheese it, right? Well, let's hope not, at least, anyway. So developers will frequently adjust these skills to maintain, you know, competitiveness in a competitive game mode, right? It's a competitive game mode. Okay, so now think about that of World vs. World. What is the focus of World vs. World? Well, I guess the focus of a large-scale game mode is between groups of players, often against NPCs, right? So maybe they left skills and they don't nerf them because maybe, you know, to kill that stone mist boss takes a lot of damage, dude. And we need DPS to kill the Lord, dude. I don't know, man. I don't get it. Like, it involves a different dynamic compared to PvP, right? You know, players often face tougher challenges, I guess, because you might be outnumbered. You could be... Yeah, is that what they want? Is that why they've left it? Do they want some skills to be able to be, like, overpowered? So if you're fighting outnumbered, that you can maybe win fights outnumbered? But then surely you would want people to win skillfully. The same as PvP. Like, why would you want someone to be able to press an elite skill and spam 1-1-1? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I can't understand it. Like, should still be important, right? Balance should be considered, right? It doesn't really make sense. I don't get it. It's almost as if treating this mode as a PvE game mode. I know it is kind of PvE, right? But like, there's still PvP in it. I guess they left it maybe because there's not enough feedback from the community, from the player base. Maybe people aren't complaining about it, like, enough. The majority of players feel that this skill is a problem, or a skill is a problem. Developers will obviously address it, maybe. But then saying that, like, a lot of people complain about Celestial gear, and they haven't touched it. A lot of people have been complaining about certain classes in stealth and stuff like this for a long, long time. Does that mean that they're right? Not necessarily, but when it comes to player feedback, you know, ArenaNet don't always listen to the community. I don't know what their decision is on certain skills, but they left a lot of classes OP for a very long time, and that could be because they want to sell expansion packs. Maybe that is the play here. Maybe that's the play. Taking the mechanic out of a weapon and transferring it to a PvP environment that is almost one-shot. The monster massively affects the mode, and it's impossible to balance. In certain maps in PvP, you have some PvE bosses, right? And if you can one-shot them really quickly before the enemy can even get there, you know, it is a little bit unlucky, right? It is a little bit unlucky. Dude, what is that? Dude, I just did 9k burn ticks. 9k burn tick? Hello? So, they take into play feedback, right? They take into consideration player feedback, but also they don't necessarily always, you know. There might be a lot of people saying something's really busted and they might not even do anything about it. So yeah, like, I don't know, maybe a majority, and we need more people saying about stuff. Maybe there needs to be more videos. Maybe there needs to be, you know, more discussions with maybe some players who have a more of a experienced mindset. Players that, you know, we can trust their feedback. You know, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't get it, personally. why some skills are touched in PvP but not in WoW vs World. I just think if it's nerfed in PvP, it surely should be nerfed in WoW vs World. But I don't know. Maybe I need to think about this more. You know, it's pretty hard to balance skills like across the game modes. You know, developers need to obviously they need to do a lot of shit, right? It's not easy. It isn't easy. And they need to consider not only the skills themselves, but how they interact with the various, you know, traits, professions, gear, and game modes. And necessarily, like, not necessarily they know straight away because they don't play the game as much as we do. But like, you've brought in weaponsmith training into the game. It is inevitable that people will find, you know, these weapons to be, you know, once placed on certain classes and certain specs, there will be some, you know, teething problems. We might find some overpowered things, such as, you know, staff on Soul Beast with Wolfpack. So, in summary, basically, you know, skills are nerfed differently. You know, there's unique demands and priorities of each mode. The goal should be, across the board though, should be, you know, to ensure fairness, competitiveness, and an enjoyable experience for all the players across all the game modes. So, do you guys agree, or am I being like clueless here? Like, what's happening, dude? I just uploaded a video of one, you know, Wolfpack memes with the Soul Beast staff, right? So, and I'm just considering why they... I'm just trying to think why they wouldn't nerf it in WoW vs World. Like, it underwent specific nerf in PvP, right? These changes were not applied to WoW vs World. They did it for competitiveness, right? Why not WoW vs World? Like, they changed the strike interval. They, like, increased the cooldown of it. So it went from 1/4 of a second to 1/2 a second. So this affects how quickly the skill attacks. Therefore, you're not going to do as much damage, or you're going to do the same damage, but it's going to take you longer to do, right? So that changes it quite a lot, right? Yeah, and also the damage coefficiency also was reduced from 0.6, I think it was, to 0.5. So that each strike will deal less damage as well compared to the WoW vs World version. I don't know. What's the theory? What's the theory about this? Like, what's happening? I can't think, boys. That's why I'm asking you. I'm asking you to tell me. Like, what is it? Let me read chat. Alliances soon, though. We already discussed alliances in the studio update. I'm not going to talk about that again. I already ranted about that for 2 hours, 3 hours or something. You can find it on YouTube. I've uploaded this shit. It's cool if skills do the same in every game mode, but obviously the game modes play out differently. Also, the incentive of others is why I enjoy it more than PvP. Yeah. Yeah, I do. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I personally don't mind them to have skills that are overpowered in WoW vs World. I really don't mind. I don't care. I think this game mode should be more about, like, the crazy, wacky, like, memes, honestly. They have their feedback according to their last studio update. They don't care about the mod, the game mode anymore. The ship is full thrust on PvE. The game is fucking old, boys. Okay, the game is old. I think that the ship has sailed for an impact that maybe they were hoping that alliances would bring. But after a lot of discussion about it, I can definitely tell you that while restructuring will have some negatives, it will have some positives. And depending on what information we find out in the next 3 months or 2 months, it could obviously affect those outcomes negatively or more positively. I don't know what they're focused on. I don't know if they have a focus on certain things, but they definitely said that they want to knock out World restructuring as it is, and I think that looks pretty certain, right? They did nerf GS cities on Necro before the patch, so they probably were expecting a lot of Necros running Greatsword. Yeah, they did the same to Virtuoso, right? They nerfed the block on F5 because they knew that there was potential for getting a shield in the weaponsmith training, and then therefore they have an extra block, right? So it would be too overpowered, right? So I get that. I get that, but like when we're talking about some specific skills, like recently, I think Wolfpack needs to be treated the same as the PvP version. I really do. What's WoW vs. Wild? You never heard of it? Maybe they have data on it not being good in WoW vs. Wild. Like, if you don't kill with it, your build does almost nothing for 50 seconds. Yeah, it is a one-shot gimmick, to be honest. True. You could have, like, staff spike, and then if you don't hit with it, you can, like, longbow meme. And then if you wanted to, you could merge with a pet, run away, and then you could swap the merge and run away again with another pet. Like, I mean, there's potential that you can kind of be still useful, but yeah, maybe it has a lot of downtime, but I don't know, man. Like, they nerfed Gunflame after a while. They nerfed Hammer 2 on Revenant after a while. They nerfed, you know, Overheat. They nerfed a lot of skills that can, like, do a lot of damage in little time. They nerfed it in PvP, so I don't know. I don't really get it. What class are we talking about? We're talking about Soul Beast. Soul Beast Staff with the Weaponsmith, and then Wolfpack. Have they made any recent balance changes when it comes to roaming builds? The biggest one was, like, Thief. They tried to nerf the amount of stealth that a Thief could have, but they haven't really fixed that, have they? In fact, they almost buffed it. Like, Shadow Arts was supposed to be a nerf, and then they kind of almost buffed it, to be honest, because now it gives you a lot of shit from going in and out of stealth. Now they don't just hide and, like, reset. Now they can actually, they don't need to, like, disengage so much. They can actually stay in the fight longer and kill you, whilst having, you know, a lot of sustain. So I don't know if it was a nerf, to be honest. I mean, some people will probably say it's a nerf, but I don't know. I think some people will be like, oh, yeah, it's fine. Anti-Toxin was quite a big nerf to some roaming builds. Ah, yeah, that is true. That is a nerf. Yep, that's true. It's burstier in PvP than a staff. I've never seen this build in PvP because you need the stealth of the longbow. It's not oppressive in, like, Plat 1 or whatever and above. Most of the player base play in, like, gold and below, right? So you would balance the game mode surely around that. Most of the players are playing from, like, how many players play PvP? Do you think the majority are in Plat above? Like, no, man. Of course not. Most of them are definitely gold and below, like. And if it's really being obnoxious in the majority of the game mode, surely that should be considered, you know. And obviously they nerfed it for a reason. And it may be not basic. It might not be staff. They might have nerfed it because of, you know, well, like you say, a different weapon set. But I mean, when I played it, it's fucking strong and with staff, man. 18k burn ticks going on this guy right now. Like, what the fuck? DH trap nerf in PvP. It wasn't good in high tier, but farmed in low tier. Yeah. Possibly, man. I thought we knew already the balance philosophy. I thought we had that live stream where they said they didn't want people to be 100 to 0'd in WoW vs. Wild. I thought that's what they said, but then they don't seem to care about it with this specific skill for some reason, and they've nerfed it in PvP. So it's not as if they've not recognized the skill is performing well, but for some reason they've only nerfed it in PvP. So I don't know, man. Let's make. I guess maybe we haven't finished playing Solar Beast with Staff Boys. I guess we have to make more videos. I've made like 3 videos already, clips already, and I guess they didn't get the visibility that it needed. Maybe I need to just keep going with the memes, man. I guess I gotta play it more, man. I gotta make a build guide for it. I gotta make a proper YouTube video for it. They might nerf it on the 26th. Yeah, who knows, man? Maybe they will. Yeah, maybe.